including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Welcome, folks. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And we are live on the Faith Washington Show, and we are live on Facebook, WWNN for iHeartRadio app, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. And I have an amazing guest tonight, and her name is Loretta McGrath Francis. Loretta, are you on the line?
I am.
Awesome.
Hi, Eddie.
I don't know if we can see your video feed yet, but I think Freddie and Don are working on that right. There you are. Hi, girl. Okay, folks, I have to tell you, Loretta Francis is a personal trainer. She's got more than 20 years of experience, and she's been through some serious stuff. She's been through serious physical injuries and has come out amazingly on the other side. She has a business called Dynamic Body Stretching. She just wrote a book, and she helps people go from injury, serious, whatever it may be, in a holistic way to health and healing. She did this for herself. She knows how to do it for other people. And Loretta, thank you so much for joining me. She's from Tampa, folks. Is it Tampa or St. Pete Beach?
St. Pete Beach.
Woohoo! We're just happy to have you here, really seriously. So I want to know your story. I want our audience to hear exactly the things that you have gone through so that they have a better picture of what you're able to do.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I've been a trainer for 20 years, and I did a lot of stretching my clients, and they seem to love that more than the training part, of course.
How interesting! But how interesting is that?
What?
Yeah, the stretching compared to train. I love to train.
Right.
I'm not, I'm not stretching. I mean, I like to stretch, but what are you doing that's different?
I think a lot of people really realized after they got stretched that their back pain, their joint pain subsided, and they could lift more, they could lift heavier, they could walk for long periods of time without pain. And so that was kind of how I shifted my whole training regimen with my clients. I did have kind of like a middle to older, and I actually did have a lot of bodybuilders, and they had the same aches and pains, and the stretching really, really helped. And
even if they were younger, they still had that same kind of issue. So that's very interesting. I find that interesting that everyone has the same kinds of things because they're stiff. They're not stretching. Yeah. They're not warming their bodies up before they exercise and do what they need to do.
Well, I think a lot of the children that are going through growth spurts it's imperative for children to go stretch during growth spurts, because I did a lot of stretching children for about 10 years through growth spurts, and I really felt the tissue would contract through the growth spurts, and I really noticed that that's something that could cause a lot of imbalances, and in the future. your body just never really recovers if the tissue isn't supple, because the bone grows faster than muscle. So the bones are growing really fast, but the tissue's just hanging on for dear life, and sometimes they never recover. And
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Where a lot of the imbalances when you're older. The back pains, the hip pains. If we kind of know this ahead of time, you can help your children with, having a pain-free future.
So you think,
stretching.
and you know what, I resonate with this, and I believe this too, is that if we take our kids when they're young and they're going through sports and they're doing, soccer or basketball, baseball, football, whatever, if they're allowed to stretch their bodies, then they're going to get better dynamic growth. They're going to be able to function at higher levels,
Absolutely.
peak performance levels, and
Sure.
these are things that maybe everybody out there is not really aware of.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you
I think they
this is,
are.
to me, when I met you, this is the role that I see you playing, is that educational piece of giving everyone, I mean, anybody who's physically active, or even if you're not, that you want to be,
Right.
being able
This could be
to,
the beginning of something.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
the beginning of,
If you can't stand or if you're in pain, we do have a lot of people that cannot exercise, but we can stretch them. So it allows them to have some mobility without being in so much pain, because, maybe their knees hurt or their ankles hurt, so they can't really walk or do any exercise. So them laying on a massage table and having us apply corrective, stretching to them, it's changed their lives. They wouldn't be able to, do anything otherwise.
that's amazing to me, because that truly is life-changing. People don't realize that if you don't have your physical health, you know
Right.
what? You can have all the money in the world, you can have everything you'd ever want, but if you don't feel good, that's
Right.
not fun. That's
No,
not a good
not at
place
all.
to be. And I think you see that every single day in what you do and how you're trying to correct that and give people their life back.
Right. There's a lot of people out there that are really realizing it. There's a lot of people out there that are doing stretch therapy, and it's becoming something that is just like, just like massage. It's or you can intermix it, or you can have it as a separate modality. It's really, people are really realizing that it helps them a lot.
I just think, like I said, what you do is really amazing. And once again, your company is called Dynamic Body Stretching. Is that correct?
Well, correct. Well, the Dynamic Body Stretching Company, this is where I teach massage therapists and personal trainers my technique. And I also created a software program, so we're not just general stretching. It is tailored to the individual,
Ooh.
where I train the individual,
Interesting.
train the therapist to grade each range of motion and log that grading into the software.
Mm-hmm.
And the software generates 16 pages of detailed reports on where the person's tight, weak, imbalanced, what sports might be hindered, what injuries might occur. It's a slew of information for the therapist and for the individual to understand where their current physical health is. And from there, you could have your massage therapist, your personal trainer, your chiropractor. Everybody has the correct data on your current physical health, and then everybody can collaborate on what they need to be doing for you with the correct data.
Okay.
But everybody has a different background, if say if it's a chiropractor, physical therapist, or whatever, they're going to see things very differently than an acupuncturist. The acupuncturists are going to look at the areas that are the nerves, or
Right.
So it just allows everybody to kind of be on the same page.
I love that. That's the DBS software that you were speaking about.
Correct.
That's incredible. That's a really big deal. Did you help develop that?
I did.
That's
I
great.
developed it. Yeah, it took me 10 years. Because I don't know anything about software, but I envisioned this in my head when I was stretching people. How I kind of correlated each range of motion in tight areas or more flexible with a color in my head. So that's kind of how I kept track. And then I was like, after a while, I was like, I need for them to see what I see so we can speak the same language. So I put it in a graph form where it's like a picture of a person.
Right.
And then I started studying the patterns that it would show me, and I could eventually find the root cause of injuries, because a lot of times you have a shoulder hurting. A lot of times it's not coming from your shoulders, it's coming from your ankles, it's coming from your hips.
Or
So
your
the
cervical
patterns really
vertebra.
tell you. Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So we follow the hard fascia, we follow the areas that are really, really tight, and usually you can find the root cause of an injury with that. So that's really been a huge thing for me to help a lot of people and teach, personal trainers, massage therapists, this technique. But I knew I couldn't reach everybody, so I created another software called Body Alignment for Life, and that's pretty much the book.
That was our next subject, is this book that you wrote that is so incredible. And on our post, we posted that, and yeah, that's so absolutely amazing, because this can help so many people in so many different arenas.
Right.
I don't think people recognize how important the stretching is, and the alignment. Alignment just doesn't mean your spinal column. Alignment really means everything. Your musculature, your internal organs,
right?
Your brain, your head, on your atlas and your axis, everything.
Yep. Yeah, the book really is tailored for an individual to find their own root cause. There's a whole bunch of questionnaires. There's a visual tests like where's your shoulder compared to where's your ears compared to your shoulders,
right,
to see if you have forward head posture, all kinds of stuff, and then it takes it through range of motion, like what's an average range of motion for your neck to turn, what's very tight, or what's an average range of motion for a rotation, external, internal rotation with shoulder. So it goes through everything, and then you'll kind of understand, wow, I didn't know I was so tight here, and then you mark that.
Yeah,
and then you go through and you do different things, and it really kind of allows you to understand where you are at.
Which is amazing, because that kind of information is very, very powerful.
Right.
And I realize that, one of the things that when people have back pain, usually your hamstrings are tight and your abdominal muscles are weak. So if you course correct and you begin to stretch and move and open those things up, then you correct all those problems and you feel great. Especially if someone, there are a lot of people that, and I do too now, you sit to work. I sit and work on a computer. I have to do certain things where I have to sit for long periods of time and focus. And if I stretch, it just makes it so much easier. It makes it so much better, and I feel good. I don't want to feel crappy. You know what I mean? And I know there are lots of people out there in our audience that are, spending time sitting on their heinies.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's our society now, and we really have to think about what we want our futures to be. I mean, I know we all have to work, and but if you don't start now, I can assure you, your body's going to age very, very fast. And
I agree.
I talk about people that sit at a desk and are side sleepers are going to age a hell of a lot faster than people that sleep on their stomach. Just think about sitting at a desk is the same repetitive lack of motion.
Agreed.
Than sleeping on the side. So your
like
body
it.
never has time to correct itself. So that's why, the book really kind of asks questions, and so people really understand, like, wow, like, I'm going to stop doing that.
Okay,
or
so
I'm
folks,
going to do this instead, And
I would like,
it guides people.
I want our audience to hear this book the title of this book that Loretta McGrath Francis wrote is called Body Alignment for Life. You can find it on dynamicbodystretching.com. That's dynamicbodystretching.com. Please go on, get this book, read it, take it in. And Loretta, this is something that we talked about before the show, that
Right.
what you are promoting and what you are helping people to understand is that the current physical health that they are in is the key to creating a corrective program to prevent physical pain. Talk to us about that. This is really what the book is about. This is about your whole philosophy and your love of people and your love of life are about.
Right. Well, I think that it all started when I started lifting a lot of weights. I was doing figure fitness and working out, and I injured myself really bad.
How did you injure yourself? I want to know.
Well, okay, so basically, everybody in fitness said that my butt was too little and my legs were too little, so I did a lot of squats, a lot of heavy weight, on the shoulders, and I compressed my spine. I had a huge bulging disc in my T9, which is really a hard place to get a bulging disc. L4, L5, I ended up having collapsing arches. I was in immense pain for 2 years. I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I was just constantly in pain. And of course, the doctors said, I went to so many doctors and they were saying, well, surgery or pain medication. And I was 30s. I was early 30 at the time. And
Too
I was
young.
like, no way, I'm not doing a fusion. I'm not doing this.
Too young.
So, they didn't really give me another option. So I picked the pain medication and I ended up getting addicted to it.
Ooh,
And
ouch,
that
wait.
and nobody really
Can
talks
you
about
say,
those things,
Can you say opioid, pharma, addiction?
No,
it's a problem,
ridiculous.
folks.
Yeah. I was an athlete and had a great life, and now it was going down the tubes, and I didn't know what to do. So I was saying to myself, I'm a personal trainer. I can fix myself. I can do this. So I started kind of grading my own range of motion, logging everything in, and I'm just like, everything's pointing to my left hip. What is that about? I don't understand. And my mom said, well, don't you remember, honey, you were born with your left leg twisted backwards. We had to put you in braces until you were 3. And so if I would have gotten that surgery in the spine, it never would have fixed anything because nobody was dealing with that left weak hip.
Right.
As soon as I understood that, I started rehabbing my hips. I started rehabbing my feet. And of course, the podiatrists tell you can't rehab your feet. I'm here to tell you can. And
yes, you can.
Out there, they're doing that.
Yes, you can.
So it was really finding the root cause of my injury was key to everything, and that's really what allowed me to create the software. I knew I had to share it because it had helped me, and so there you have it.
I love it. That's so incredibly important, is to understand where you're at. Okay, what are you dealing with? Are you dealing with a shoulder? Are you dealing with hips? Are you dealing with tight hamstrings? Does your back hurt because you're sitting at a desk all day, or you're sitting down, you've got to get up, you got to walk around? But there are physical things that cause pain in our bodies that can literally be cured by stretching, by paying attention to what's going on, and by doing rehabilitative movement that's going to cure that. There's no reason why people should have hip surgery, okay?
Yes.
If you're 45 freaking years old. There's just no reason. There is help for everything that we experience. And the more that we're open to what you're doing, Loretta, that's what people need to hear. They need to hear you on a platform. And I know that you do speaking engagements. I'm so thrilled to hear that. So, folks, if you're in the audience and you have a company, you have a group of people, you have anyone that you know is going through some sort of physical suffering, please, I exhort you to call Loretta. And Loretta, what's that phone number they can reach you at? I know they had it on the screen earlier. Freddie and Dawn put it on the screen. What, 424?
You're asking me.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
We know that we can reach you at dynamicbodystretching.com. Folks, you can go to dynamicbodystretching.com and you can log into Loretta's site and you can find her book. You can find the information you need. What's that phone number? Because we'd really like to have them call you if they need immediate help.
424 262
262
1327.
Beautiful. So, folks.
And I wanted to say with the online software, bodyalignmentforlife.com, that is made for corporate or large groups of people to understand their current physical health. So that is definitely for like sports teams and people sitting at a desk, big corporate, and big classes. And the dynamic body stretching is a one-on-one. So a therapist would be stretching that person.
Right.
So there's just two different things.
So two different things, and in that, the Body Alignment for Life in your book and what it is that you're doing, you really need to have these speaking engagements so that you can draw people in so that there's less issues with the health. Obviously, this helps all the organs of your body when you're aligned. There's going to be less issues with people being sick, people calling out sick, loss of work.
Right.
That creates a huge burdens on businesses that have to pay for health care.
Employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also talk about fascia, how fascia is really just almost a redheaded stepchild. That
I love that description.
that keeps the body out of alignment, and there's ways to release the fascia, then do strengthening exercises, resistance stretching. Active stretching is probably the best way.
What does active stretching look like to you?
So you're contracting while you're elongating.
So can you? I know this sounds a little weird. Could you show us like an example sitting in your chair?
I'll do.
Perfect.
Since you can only see here.
Okay, that's all right. Just show us something like shoulder wise or neck wise, something.
Yeah. So say you're leaning to the side. I am going to press onto my head while I press my head into my hand. So I'm resisting both ways and back. And you're going to get the flexibility will grow faster and faster, and it's the safest way to really stretch something is when you're engaged while you're in full flexion and extension.
That's interesting. So, especially with the neck. Listen, the neck is one of the most important places because obviously, it's where our brain, takes care of the rest of the body and connected to your heart. All of these things are really critically important.
Right. Yeah, so I think that, it's not just one modality is going to heal everybody. There are so many people in your communities that can help you, that can heal you. And so I just want to really say this to you, reach out to the people that are healers in your community. They are the future of, I really truly believe they are going to be the future doctors.
I agree.
I think we're really realizing that the real doctors, I'm not saying all, but most of them have, not your best interest. And I think that, holistic healers, they need to step up. They need to really realize that they're our future. And, education is key too,
I agree. I think it's across the board. I think across the board for the general public, but I also think that, your doctors, nurses, your NDs, your DOs, everybody needs to be on the same page so that, at least close. So at least they're open to the fact that, wow, something? Yeah, I really don't want to get hacked on. I don't want to. I don't want my body opened up. I don't want the possibility of infection. and if everybody were really looking at this in an objective way, then more things would be done holistically. Because truly, the body is an amazing mechanism. It will heal itself.
Yeah.
It is
Very true.
It is simply created to do exactly that. The cells are meant to do just exactly that. And it's a
I
gift.
do talk a lot about that too. It's mentally, there's so many things that you can do to heal yourself. And
Right.
there's all different types. I mean, I recommend people, to go to. The book is not all about me at all. It's really
I
about
know.
how to give yourself the right tools on to heal yourself with basic stuff. So, anyways,
so
I
exciting.
hope it really helps.
Loretta, it's so incredibly exciting. Remember, folks, get the book, Body Alignment for Life. You can go to dynamicbodystretching.com to pick this up. Loretta, what a fantastic, incredible story. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm really thrilled because I think that this makes such a huge impact. And I believe that, folks, you need to have her come and speak to your company, to your group, whomever. Let her come in and show you some things that will blow your mind, really, because this interview truly does not give you the whole enchilada. Folks, thank you so much. Loretta, thank you. We are live here on Facebook. We are live on WWNN iHeartRadio app. We're live on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We'll see you next week. Loretta, thank you. Have a great night. You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.